Welcome, I am Terry Tropin, and today I'll be discussing the March 2023 update for CPT's evaluation and management codes. Now, there are a bunch of changes in January 2023, but these are in addition to that. They were posted March, but they're effective as of January. For links to the previous changes and to these changes discussed in this video, see the introduction to the video. Let me start with information about myself. Here is all about me. And here are the books that I have written. Evaluation and Management Coding Made Easy, ICD-10 Coding Guidelines Made Easy, and ICD-10 PCS Coding Guidelines Made Easy. These are updated every year. The 2023 updates are on Amazon, and the March updates are included in the Evaluation and Management Coding book. So let's look at what we're going to talk about in this video. So there's a couple changes to definitions. They change the definition of independent interpretation, change the definition of appropriate source. Now that's in the guidelines section before E&M codes. In the actual E&M code section, under the section guidelines for office or other outpatients, there's a sentence deleted. They also, as a revision of in prolonged consultation services and in guidelines for nursing facilities. So here's the link again to all of the E&M changes for 2023. Okay, so let's start with changes to the definitions used in medical decision making. Two changes were made to definitions in the category amount and or complexity of data to be reviewed and analyzed. So they made some changes before in interpretation. They deleted a sentence. Added in March 2023, it says a test that is ordered and independently interpreted may count both as a test ordered and a test interpreted. Okay, so what's the point of this? The point is to differentiate between a review and an interpretation. Ordering a test and then interpreting it can count as two data elements. Ordering a test and reviewing the results counts only as one. So this could be important in determining the level of medical decision making. So what's the difference? Well, a review is simply looking at straightforward results. For example, pregnancy test, the patient's pregnant or they're not. An interpretation is more complicated. Examples might be analyzing an MRI or an ultrasound. You look at the results, the physician looks at the results and interprets what does this mean for this specific patient. So it's much more involved. And in that case of an interpretation, it can be counted both as test ordered and test interpreted. There's also a change in the definitions within amount and a complexity of data. And this definition concerns appropriate source and unique source. Unique source is kind of buried under the definition of unique, about 2/3 of the way down on the definition. So the confusion was that the definition of an appropriate source mentioned non-physician individuals such as lawyer, parole officer, case manager, or teacher. A unique source is defined only as a physician or other qualified healthcare professional. So what they changed is, the change they made was for the purposes of documents reviewed, documents from an appropriate source may be counted. So an appropriate source and a unique source both may include the non-physician individuals, lawyer, parole officers, case manager, or teacher. So that could be important in determining a level also. Okay, so let's look at the body of the E&M services. That's all the changes to medical decision making. Now we're going to talk about the introduction to sections. So in the introduction to guidelines for office or other outpatient codes, 99202, 99215, we're going to delete this last sentence in the introduction. A patient is considered an outpatient until inpatient admission to a healthcare facility occurs. So that has been deleted. So now let's look at the prolonged consultation services section. This was also revised. This is 99358, 99359. I'm saying this so that you can find them easier in your book, 99417, 99418. So there's a table in this section, total duration of office or other outpatient consultation services used with 99245. Okay, in that table, it says 80 to 99 minutes, when it should read 85 to 99 minutes. So this could also make a difference in code selection. So it's not 80, it's 85. Okay, change in guidelines for nursing facilities. This is correction of a typo. It says use nursing facilities for immediate care for individuals with intellectual disabilities. Well, what they meant was intermediate. So that's a change of a typo, correction of a typo. Okay, so that's all the differences that are in your book, all the changes from March 2023. These may seem small, but they could be important. They could mean a difference in selection of a code. So this is what you should write in your CPT book. Definitions of interpretation. This is in the guidelines for E&M codes. Interpretation. Writing the difference between interpretation and review. Interpretation is much more involved than a simple review. Also on the definition of interpretation, write in a test that is ordered and independently interpreted may count both as a test ordered and interpreted. So that's an important thing to write in. So you look under definitions of unique source, which, as I said, is defined in the guidelines, the MDM guidelines under unique. Add unique source can be lawyer, parole officer, case manager, or teacher. Okay. So now in the E&M section itself, look at office or other outpatient services. Cross out that last sentence in the first paragraph for the introduction section. A patient is considered an outpatient until inpatient admission to a healthcare facility occurs. Then turn to office or other outpatient consultation services. Look at that table and change 80 to 99 to 85 to 99. Then go to nursing facility services and cross out immediate and write in intermediate. Okay, so that is the end of this video. That covers all the changes. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to contact me. For more information, see the links to the complete document posted in the description of the video. For a discussion of all the E&M changes, including those from January, look at my videos, E&M changes parts 1, 2, and 3, which are also now posted. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe by clicking the picture in the lower right-hand corner. Here are the books I have written on coding. These are on Amazon. The E&M coding book has been updated to include these March changes. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful.